back to the channel, welcome back to the garage. We've got another video here on my Mark 7 ST180. As you can see, it's very dirty. As we said on previous videos, we're going to be sorting out last because we've still got a few bits to do. Speaking of which, I've got the boss here, Martin.
We have. Good morning. Look, as Timmy said, what's going on here, Timmy?
Well, yeah.
I've not looked after it very well, have I?
It's yeah, John.
All this road salt and all the dirt and grime from the road, look, which, like Timmy says, what's the point? We've got a dry, sunny day today. The roads are still wet. The roads are still dirty. So yeah, that'll be sorted out later. But we've got more important things to be getting on with, Timmy.
Yeah, I mean, John Warren won't be happy to see it like this, but as Martin said, we've got more important things to do at the moment. Speaking of which, one of them today, which we'll be covering on this video.
One of two.
Or one of two, I should say.
That's right. So, in the box down there, that, as we can see, is something Simpson related. The other one is already been delivered to the customer, Cumbria, miles away.
That's right.
Yeah. He's received it, he's checked it out, you know, he's blown away by the system, the quality, and he's going to be fitting it, I think, next week. He runs a stock turbo on his car with a tune, so it'll be interesting to see what it sounds like with that setup, as opposed to we run the RT330 big turbo, so a bit different, but that's good because you get different you know, different tunes coming out of it, isn't it?
Yeah, so anyway, we've obviously had two made at the same time, haven't we?
Yeah.
One delivered directly from Simpson to the customer, and the other one's come here, and we'll be obviously showing that.
It's done because of what's going on with you know, with the COVID and the backlog of that, and Simpson's obviously backlog of work. It took a bit of time, but we got there eventually. It's just you just need to be patient with Simpsons.
Yeah, of course you do. I mean, it's all bespoke and
it's all, you know, it's high demand systems, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of course.
And we're not
his only customer.
No, check him out on Instagram, guys, because you'll see all the work that they do up there, and they have some really interesting cars in every time for bespoke stuff. Obviously, the RS, MJP RS has been up there as well. But yeah, check them out. Loads of interesting work that they do up there, and yeah, as you'll see on their Instagram, real quality work that they do.
Yeah, it's superb stuff, isn't it? So we'll be looking forward to the customer that the other system went to, and he's going to forward us some pictures. I don't know whether he does Instagram himself or Facebook, but if he does, that's great. But we'll have all them pictures, and he'll do a video as well. Set him do a video of the sound clip, send that to us, and then we'll post that up and share that with you guys and girls. So this is the bit like the showstopper, really. So this is different to what you've got on already, Timmy. So at the moment you've got on it's a 2 3/4 inch and a 3-inch tailpipe. So that's a straight pipe, which was the original we fitted with our own over axle pipe, and then we connected it with Meth connectors, didn't we?
We did.
That's the first phase of it, really. You know, like edition 1, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, version 1, whatever. So this is the same as what Monty's got on his Black M Sport. Just hidden over. Don't take any notice of the wheels. I've had people say, is that the wheels that's on it? Well, it is to move it around, but that's not the. No, actually, it's the same. It's got one on the front of the little piece as well, though. Little piece as well. So yeah, we're sharing the wheels around. Off Timmy's, who works here, that's off his 2-litre Ghia. So we might put them on there.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, so back to the. So this is the same as what Monty's got on his. So before these were made, Monty's was the only one that was running this system. So the silencer's a bit longer than what you've got on yours, Timmy, right? And the baffle configuration is different inside because it's all 3-inch, whereas that's smaller, 2.75, right? And this is all V-banded, that's sleeve fit. And this has got a 45-degree turn down tailpipe, which is proper WRC. That's what they run on the WRC R5s. Now don't get confused with it, I'm talking about WRC2 R5, not World Rally Car. World Rally Car is completely different. That's in a league of its own. We're talking about the R5, which is WRC2, right? No point in talking about the WRC car. That's £1 million, that car, right? Whereas the WRC2 car is like 200 grand. Still out of pretty much a lot of people's price range, but you know, that's what we've tried to base it on, right? Yeah. It's not exactly the same, but it gives you an idea, right? Of they run different turbos and everything, so it's just the design of that, alright? So as you can see, this exhaust, the Simpson makes quite light as well, fully repackable, all right, and all fully V-banded. Now the benefit you get, some people have their own sort of like opinions on V-band, that's fine. You know, some people prefer, you know, the slip joint, which is that's the most common way of doing it. Thing is, with V-band, you've got far more adjustability. So on the V-band clamps, all right, which goes with it. That's the connector pipe, all right, and that's your bit that goes around one tank. For viewers would have seen this before on when we laid it on with when we done Monty's, and beautifully done that. All 3-inch, highest grade stainless steel, all, you know, so it's purge welded, which means that they fill it with argon gas, and then when they're welding it, it just gives a, you know, it's a much cleaner weld. All right, there's no contamination on the weld, so that weld on the inside will be the same as it is on the outside. That's the whole point of you know, of purge welding it. All right, and that's your over axle pipe. So it's a completely different system to what you've got at the moment. This is a complete Simpson system, yes, whereas that is the only Simpson thing on the back on the York at the moment is the rear silencer. Yep. We've made the over axle pipe, and the rest of it is Mil-Tec, which is nowhere near the quality of that. Of course it's not. Well, that's the front section. All right, now it's straight through. We fit that for test purposes. Obviously, when we run it for big fingers on a dyno, and some track work and all that sort of stuff. Is that right, Timmy?
That's right. Yes, that's correct.
So, and as you can see, that these flanges, right, are they're made from nothing, and they're made to the exact sort of configuration of the original. That flange alone is £200 plus VAT. It's very expensive. Now I had to get that jigged and made. Yeah, you know, when you're buying 5 at a time, you know, there's £1,000 gone just like that, just on that flange. But he's made it from. If Simpson does something, he will tell you how he's going to do it and what he's happy doing it. He doesn't cut corners. You know, it has to be done correctly. And then you've got your lambda bosses in there, look, in the bracket. And again, you know, just bracket there and all the V-band. Right.
Yeah, and you can see from the wells, absolute top quality.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. So what we need to do now is we'll crack on and get it all fitted up in it. And then as we go, we'll show you we'll get the car up in the air and we'll show you what's fitted already. And then we'll go from there. But the car's just come back from Tommy. From doing all the custom Meth software on it. We have the Dyno graph for that now. We've not been able to go out and do dragging time for that yet because, as I said at the beginning of the video, the road's constantly raining all the time. Pointless. Even today, where you think it's dry, pointless. You try and put the power down, and the roads are just not going to give you the grip. Right. So that'll be for another day. But we can share the Dyno graph with you and show you what I'll talk you through it and what it's achieved and the test figures and all that sort of stuff. All right, and then dragging times will come later when we're in a position to do so when the weather allows us to. So let's crack on and get this beauty fitted up, Timmy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, looking forward to this, guys. Yeah. So yeah, we'll show you the install and come back to you in just a moment, guys.
Heritage gloves at the ready, Timmy, yeah?
Yeah, always preferred option.
Yeah, got to keep on the exclusive Ford theme.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so we see. So we're talking about the Mil-Tec connector pipes. So you got the front, you got the Mil-Tec connector pipe there. Look, this is what we use, and then you got you can call it the centre rear pipe if you want, and then that's our over axle pipe, which is fabricated by our good friend Julian down at Proform. Yeah, and as you can see, so the Simpson rear silencer, these are all slip joints. The Simpson rear silencer is a lot smaller than that one.
Yeah.
Well, it's a lot smaller, but it's completely different.
Yeah. All right. You can see that easily, guys. Can't you?
Exactly. So that just gives you an idea of the underside. So we'll get that removed now, and then we'll show it to you as we go. But the idea of the V-band is when you fit it all up, you leave it you know, you've got much more adjustability. So you leave it like slack, so you can maneuver it to where you want, and then you can do it up exactly in the right position.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
And like you said before, the easiest way to fit an exhaust is on a 4-poster like this, isn't it, really?
Well, really, because if you do it on a 2-poster or scissor lift like that, that's all very well, but you're not going to get the true positioning of where the exhaust is going to sit here. So, because the car's, when it's on the road, when you're driving it, it's not jacked up.
No, that's right.
So, having it with all the suspension as it is, you know, with all 4 wheels touching the platforms, you see exactly where it's going to fit. So, you know, so it'll start banging around. So we're going for, you know, this is 2.75, but we're going to a 3-inch, which is a lot bigger. You don't really want anything bigger than that. That's absolutely fine. Right, so there we are. We couldn't do too much. Well, we couldn't do any filming while we were fitting it because it's quite involved to me, isn't it?
It is quite involved, yeah.
So you know, trying to line it up and get it all correctly symmetrical, which is, you can't fail and do that at the same time. There's only 2 of us here. So anyway, so it's all on. All the front's on. You can see that it travels through the centre. There's just line up to the central to the tunnel around here. This is the tricky bit. You get around here to make sure that it's all good. That's why you need to do it on a 4-poster ramp. You do it on a 2-poster, you let it down, you'll have to readjust it again because it won't be in the right place. Getting that sort of like symmetrical, which it is. We've not bothered putting uprated mounts on. To be honest, you can put the Powerflex ones on. The standard ones are really good. They're we've had Powerflex ones melt in at Castle Coombe on the little beast, didn't we?
We did, yes.
And then the rear box fell
right.
down. So I don't know. The standard ones are quite heavy duty anyway. So yeah, what you get is that you want a bit of movement there, which it's got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go. All V-banded all the way through, 3-inch. This is the trick rear silencer, fully repackable. So basically, these ring Allen keys, if you undo them, that baffle pulls out, obviously with the turn down pipe, pulls out, and then you can repack it. So as the packing burns away, it'll be fully packed already. Simpson always fully packs them. I think they sound better fully packed, and then we can you can actually just, you know, repack it. So it's good for like track days, because if you can play around, take some of it out. We've tried all that, and the best, they sound better fully packed. So it just gives you, you know, it's not like a normal Miltech one, whereas like once it burns away, that's it. You've got no chance, because you can't get inside it unless you cut it open. Which nobody's going to do. You've got no control over the sound. This you have, right? So that's what makes it unique. Lambdas, we had one issue, didn't we? Where the which always happens, which I showed Timmy, which he's never experienced before, but good job he was here and I can show him. So you've got to take the lambda probes out of the Miltech pipe. The post one down at the bottom, no problem, nice and easy. One at the top, the pre one, no chance, solid. Warmed it up, solid. You know that it's gonna, it's good to move it, it starts creaking, you know that it ain't gonna move. So the thing is do it back up again, leave it, and then leave it in the front pipe, because then the front pipe is still functional, and you haven't destroyed the lambda sensor and the front pipe. You know, then you've got to start recutting the thread. The lambda sensor will be no good, you have to replace it, they're quite a few quid. So what's the point? So now that ain't gonna work, do it back up again, done. And then it's there ready to fit somebody else's car. And then luckily I have a choice of Monty's or the little beast, so I've whipped it out of the...
Well, we didn't use Monty's,
no, we
did
didn't
we?
use Monty's, so I've whipped it out of the little beast, and the pre-sensor is not now on yours to me.
As we're calling it at the moment, the donor car.
Yeah, it's a bit like that at the moment, isn't it? But
yeah, that's it's good that we got that there and we were able to get around it that way. And as Martin said, it's in the previous pipe, and then well, whoever gets it, they can just use that one.
If you didn't have access to that, if I didn't have one readily available, like on mine or like on Monty's or a spare one, we wouldn't been able to finish the job, because I wouldn't dare try and get that out of there, because I know from experience it is going to destroy the thread. It's just going to pull the thread out in the lambda. The lambda will be no good, and then you'll have to recut the boss in the pipe. So just leave it in there. So that's what we've done. Better off paying out for a new one, which is, I don't know, even if it's a couple £100 for one. It's more, makes more sense to do that. But anyway, so we're ready to go. We're going to fire it up in a second.
We are, yes.
Yeah, and then we do it. Obviously, it's got to have a heat cycle on it, and then we just obviously just recheck the tightness of the V-band clamps, because they'll obviously, once they've got a heat cycle, they'll expand one day and then contract again, and we need to just whip them up. cycle. Now let it warm up, and then you'll get a few drips of little water from the joints, from the front, whatever, from the flange, and then once it's done its heat cycle, then we'll just nip them up when it's hot, and then the job's a good one. Yeah, so as you can see, look, it's all nice and purring away there, Timmy, isn't he?
It is, yeah.
Right. I mean, it is quite cold outside, so you're going to get a bit more steam.
Yeah, of course you are.
But pretty good, isn't it? I mean, obviously, then we'll road test it, and you know that's the way to really get it off the temperature, and then get it all nice and heat cycle with a nice purple cutter, yeah. Well, not here, but the front.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it's all fitting quite nicely. Obviously, got to manipulate the heat shield a bit, bend that out of the way because it's 3 and 4 in it. So, but that's what takes time, getting it to sit right. Yeah, so we'll certainly see. You know, well, we will see an improvement. You know, we're going bigger bore. This is the optimum size, same as what we've got. You know, on the RS on Bill's is 3 inch as well, isn't it? All the way
It
through.
is, yeah, that's right.
That's ideal. And it's going to enhance what this car is all about, with all the custom software and hardware that we've done with the full auxiliary methanol. But yeah, so let's get the heat cycle done. Let's get him out on the road. Right, so here we are. So Timmy's just been out for, the weather's shocking out there. All we've done is just gone around, just done a quick road test just to get a heat cycle through the system. But yeah, pretty pointless really. It's not got a lot of fuel in it either, Timmy, have we? So
No, we haven't, no.
really just a quick blast around just to see get an idea of what it sounds like. And but we won't know until we get right on it and you get the meth, start injecting, and then you can come up on the power, and then you know the difference. But so here in my hand, I have the dyno graph sheet. Now, I've always said to viewers, with the dyno, it's a tuning tool, and you need it to create this sort of thing, which Tommy and any other, tuners that have rolling roads. But yeah, that's all it is. It's a tuning tool. It gives you, some figures, which it does. But every dyno is different. Yes, I do take notice of Tommy's dyno because it's quite, it is accurate, and I've explained that before why it's accurate. If you spoke to Tommy yourself, he would explain why his dyno's accurate. And as we said before, there's lots of people that call it Tommy, and they get very disappointed because they think their car's going to make the figures that somebody else said or somebody else dyno that. They go on hit, up to him, and it doesn't. And it's just the way it is, isn't it? So whether people believe it or not, they could say, well, his dyno's wrong or whatever. It doesn't really matter, but that's what he's saying it is, and that's it. End of. But so the graphs that I've got here. So we've got a stock tune with turbo, which you can pretty much ignore that. That means nothing. And then we've got the non-meth map, which is, as it says, non-meth map. With the custom software that we have, you have to have some form of running a 99 ROM map, because just normal pump gas. Because if you have a problem with a meth, like I said before, electrical fault, nozzle block, run out of fluid, anything like that, you need to be able to switch maps. Now this is just it's not like the SPS switch on the Revo, where it changes a parameter and switches it over within seconds. You have to load up a complete file. And that's why it could take like 10 minutes to load the file up from the tablet that you have for handset, because there's like a few different files on that. And then once you do that, load onto the non-meth map, away you go. The non-meth map's quite impressive actually, isn't it, Timmy?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Quite impressive. We use RT330 turbo, which we said before. Timmy didn't want to be spending that on a new turbo, neither do other customers that's got the Revo RT330. So although you've got to come off the Revo software, that's just the way it is. You cannot run methanol with that. You can run the single nozzle. You can run a single nozzle with the Revo, which is, we've got James's here, which we're doing at the moment. That runs RT330, and he's having a meth kit fitted with a single nozzle into the charge pipe, like you have before, Timmy, like Malcolm still has. like Monty had, like I ran on a little beast, that's the first phase. You can still stay on the Regal software now, then, which is what James wants to do. He doesn't want full auxiliary, he doesn't want to chase power figures, he doesn't want our software, he wants to stay on, he's quite happy with the Regal software, which is fantastic. We'll always, you know, that we give customers the option, that's what he wants to stick with, but still run Meth, which we can do. And then, like I said before, he can then run the 102 octane map on the number 4 on the SPS switch. So back to Timmy's. Yeah, so the RT330 turbo, which is made by Turbo 10X, that is pretty much maxed out. So Tommy's found the absolute maximum limit of what that turbo can flow. If you want to make more power, you're going to have to put a bigger turbo on it, because it just won't produce any more power. Everything has a limit, doesn't it? You know, if you want to run 1,000 horsepower, you're going to have to get a turbo that's capable of running 1,000 brake, which would be like a Garrett 1035 or whatever it is. You know, you'd have to have the turbo capacity to run 1,000 horsepower. You just would. So it's the same with it. So what we've achieved out of this is quite mind-blowing, really, from the RT330. I was a bit unsure what it would make. Bruce was, you know, so was Tommy. Well, we'll see what we can do, and we don't know. And then Bruce was pretty confident it would make what it made. Now, what I must explain to you is the development figures and the test figures are always higher than the final figures that we, you know, put it to, because the car needs to be drivable and reliable. This car still runs stock internals, all right? Now you're going to get people shouting at their screen saying, "Stock internals, you're joking, the thing's going to, you know, it's going to grenade, it's going to blow up." Well, it might, but who knows? So nobody can really answer that. You know, nobody can say that their car's not going to do this and their car's not going to do that. All I can say is that the way that we've done it is to prevent that from happening and keep everything mega efficient, super cool with the methanol, and produce the maximum power that we can safely and reliably. All right, that's just the little beast. For people who know the car, that's been dragged around the circuit on the road, and that's, you know, not. We'll discuss power in a minute, but that survived, no problem at all. So is the others. So who knows? You know, that's why it's called development and testing, to see what, you know, what happens. But I'd like to think that it'll be absolutely fine. You know, we could all chuck in, well, better forge this, do this, do that, strengthen this, but you might not need to do that. So why would you spend all the time and effort and money doing that when you might not need to do it? So I'm very much one for, let's do that, let's see what happens, and address the issue. If something happens, then we'll find out what it is, and then we'll fix it. Not fix it before it happens. It ain't broke at the moment, is it? So usual things. Some owners might have problems with a stock car or whatever, where the liner's cracked and it's failed, or somebody else when it's got upgrades on it. Others might not. I think it's just the luck of the draw, isn't it, to be honest? So anyway, figures to me. Yeah. This is what you've all been waiting for. We'll post this off anyway, and you'll see it anyway. There we are. All right. Forget this one. Forget that. That's stock tune with turbo. All right. And yes, it is Tommy that's done it at Velocity, and yes, it is your vehicle. All right, we haven't made this up. No. We've not created it. You didn't do this on the computer at home, Timmy, did you? No, I don't think Tommy did either. I think he actually done it. It took him a week to, you know, creating all this. So yeah. So forget that one. That means nothing. This is the non-Meth map, all right, which is the V-Power one that we talked about. So just, I won't say, just scan down, look, have a look. All right, we'll talk about this one in a minute. But there we are. So we've got, this is the comments is the flywheel power. All right, so you've got 367 flywheel power, and that equates on Tommy's calculations, which is, look, it's always a guesstimate. All right, it's not, the wheel power is correct. This is a guesstimate. Always is. And it'll, you know, some people would say, oh yeah, well that should be lower, or that should be higher. It's a guesstimate, so don't take too much notice of that. It's the wheel horsepower. That's accurate, because that's what the Roland Road measured. So we've got 328.7 horsepower at 5125, which you can see up there, and then you've got 542 newton meters of torque at 4125 RPM. That's the non-Meth map, which is impressive. Now, yours before. So again, it was on different rollers. And it made, well, it probably equated to, it was not far off 300 wheel horsepower, was it? Yours, when Graham done it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I mean, if you take into account some, you know, some factors. I suppose it was it was like 300 horsepower, wasn't it? Wheel horsepower on before. Now that was with V-Power RT330, no additional meth, no race fuel, nothing like that, wasn't it? Because we've done it back to back with a little beast, didn't we? Yeah. Remember? So I can't remember the torque. I can actually. It was 320 newton meters. It's 400 in. Hang on. I think it's 420, 430 foot-pound. That is. So whichever way you look at it, that's 100 foot-pound more than before. Than what you made. Than this car made with nothing on it. You know, just the. So there's your, and then you can see the graph. Look. So yes, look. If you look at it, look. Yeah. Your torque curve. You know, there's your torque. There's your power. We get the red ones. That means nothing. That's just on there as a baseline to gauge these against. All right. So as you can see, look. So yes, comes outside there. It's sort of leveled out and then drops off. Well, that's $6.5 grand. Look. So to there. So you know, it's a Revy 1600, isn't it? So if you wanted, if you wanted that to carry on climbing, you'd have to put a bigger turbo on it. That's when it runs out of puff. All right. So that's what I said before. You know, for that to climb, every car eventually is gonna go like that. All right. But so this is like maxing out. Now, bearing in mind the capacity of this turbo is 330, RT330. Yeah, Revo turbo 330. Capacity turbo. You know, that's not wheel horsepower. That'd be flywheel, isn't it, Timmy? Yeah, you agree? Yeah. So that's that one, which is impressive. We've not tested that one yet, actually. We've been too busy playing around on the meth map.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So we need to load that one on because that's got some overrun built into it as well. So we must do that. Right. So this is the one that people's going to be. They're going to be interested in this. That's impressive. But this is the impressive one. Right. Look at the flywheel figure. 409 horsepower, brake horsepower. 366.9 horsepower. Right. This is where it jumps. Right. So that's full power. Now that is the figures that it made when Tommy was developing it and testing it. Okay, we've made the decision not to run that full power on the road because through discussions with Tommy, and it's more sensible just to back it off a bit to make it more, you know, so it is going to be reliable and, you know, it's more drivable. That's nuts. You know, I'm not saying that's not drivable. It is, but we've got stock internals in this car, all right, so we don't want to be going too, but that just shows you the potential of what it made. All right, so it's the figure that we've settled on is about 385 horsepower, brake horsepower, which equates to it'll be knocking on the door of about 345 wheels, something like that. I think something like that. It's about that sort of stuff. So that sort of figure. So that's what it's sensible to do that. Right now, we can wind it up to that if we want, but that just shows us the potential, the full power potential, which is this car made. Yeah. So there we are, guys and girls. So that's the graph. We'll post it up online, and then, you know, it's just information for you. It's just you know, all the hard work has gone into that to producing that, and we've tested it. It's all fine. Tommy's tested it as well. No problem at all. It's available, but you need to give me a call, not message and ask me how much it is and all this sort of stuff. You need to give me a call on the phone and to discuss it, and then we go from there. All right, but and then as soon as we get a chance, with this horrible rain pounding down on the roof outside, Timmy, innit? Once it's dry and we get out, we'll do some draggy times with it, and then let you know. All right, but yeah, thanks for listening. I mean, this has been quite a good one. So, and then yeah, usual thing. Comments down below. You're going to get comments down below on this, aren't we, Timmy? You know, whether it's that or that, you know, we're going to get it. So, you know, we're not bothered about that. So, yeah, hit that bell notification button, subscribe, usual thing, and then we'll catch you very soon. Ciao.